Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kapadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel that rule well, and shalom to the Akim, Akwathium, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom. So, Salakia. Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down. Who is that talking about? Okay, King David, and I'm going to be reading from, and I went through this book before. It's, Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Martial law, the concentration camps by Magus Mullis. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit of that so I can get into who I'm talking about. All right, we're talking about the devil's wrath. Okay, it's a lot of for all the damn noise over here. All right, the devil's wrath. Our forefather David once referred to the wicked as the sword of the Most High. Okay, that's what I just read in Psalms 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him and cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay? So we're talking about the sword or the punisher, the person that was given the sword. Okay? If you go back to Genesis, okay, the 25th chapter, all right, it talks about Jacob and Esau. And we know that Esau sold his birthright because he was hungry. Okay? So that when he cried to his father Isaac, okay, who we know came back as Solomon in the reincarnation, Solomon came back as Yahweh Shai, the man the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay, so when Esau came into the tent to receive his blessing, Isaac said, "Hey, I already gave away your blessing." Okay, and he knew that that was given to his brother Jacob. All right, so he said, "Father, do you have a blessing for me? Just give me something." So his father Isaac gave Esau the sword, okay, as a blessing. Matter of fact, let me go back. Let me grab that real quick. Let me go back. Let me grab that real quick. I'm gonna have to go to 27. So all right. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. I keep on going so long. Same one here. I don't know why this keeps going back to the same one, man. Why does it keep saying this? Yo, it keeps on taking me back to the same goddamn scripture. Look. All right, do this. All right, let me do that. Yep. All right, here we go. See where I want to start at. All right, verse 31. Salakia, that's Genesis 27, and I'm going to start at 31. All right. because we're talking about when David was speaking about uh, asking the Lord to save him from his sword. Okay, all right. David said to the Most High, "Hey, save me out of the hands of the sword, man, the wicked, which is thy sword." Okay. Now we know that the wicked are the unworthy vessel. All right. In Romans 9 and the 20, 21, 22, you got a vessel of honor, a vessel of dishonor. The vessel that is fitted for destruction is the sword of the Most High, who we call the so-called white man. Okay. Esau, Edom's. Okay. As offspring, the seed. Okay, that seed line of the devil that was in the garden. All right, and he also made savory meat. Let me go up a little bit. All right, I'm going to go into verse 30. I'm going to go into verse 30, but I'm not going to start at the top. All right, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may be blessed, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Okay, so the elder is going to serve the younger. We know that. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. The elder shall serve the younger. So Esau knows that that once the children of Israel, and this is why it's important for us to be out here. And right before I turned my camera on, I had a older couple. They're probably about the same age as I am. Late 50s. Came up and asked what I was doing, and I was telling them about the sign and how the book of Ezekiel tells us to put a stick with Jacob and his fellows, okay, and another stick with Ephraim and his fellows, which is the northern and southern kingdoms, and put that stick together. And that would signify what we're doing right now, bringing the 12 tribes of Israel back into the understanding that they're the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? And that the wicked, which is the sword of the Most High, the so-called white man, is getting ready to put this place. He's getting ready to put a lot of people to death in this place, man. Okay, that's what our goal. Our goal is to seal the elect. All right, by any means. I told them that we have brothers like myself. We have to make our bodies a living sacrifice, and we have to come out here and we have to tell our people, man, what is really taking place. Okay, everything else is bullshit. All right. So let me continue reading so I can get into where Isaac blessed Esau with the sword. Okay. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? All right. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that have taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of the, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. Okay? Jacob is going to be blessed. He's going to get the kingdom. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even also me, my father. Okay? So Esau found out that he wasn't going to get the blessing of the kingdom. All right? So he cried to his father Isaac and then said what? He said, Bless me, also me. Okay? Give me a blessing. Regardless of what it is, I need something. All right? And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, okay? Jacob, or Yaiqua, which means supplanter. All right? And he said, Is not he uprightly named Jacob, for he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. And see, there goes Esau being a fucking liar. Okay? Esau's a liar because Esau was in the field trying to hunt, couldn't find no venison, all right? Couldn't find no deer, and came back hungry as hell and told his brother Jacob, feed me that pottage, feed me that raw ass meat. And he said, man, you know we ain't supposed to be eating raw meat. He said, man, look, give me that shit. I'm getting ready to die. Okay. So Esau, Esau sold his birthright. There he goes being a liar. All right. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. Okay? So all the other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel are going to be the servants of the children of Israel. Okay? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou one blessing, my father? Bless me even also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth. That's why the so-called white man's all lives in all the nice neighborhoods, gated communities. Okay? All right? Let me read that again. 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live and shalt serve thy brother. It shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. That's why in the 1400s, what happened? Okay? What happened with Jake over in Europe? Okay? They were taken down by the so-called white man. Okay? They were taken back down by the so-called white man. And then what happened? They were put into slavery. 1619 or 1492 to 1619, the so-called white man took blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians into slavery. Okay? That's why the scriptures tell you in the book of Revelations, after 3.5 days, they stood upon their feet and great fear fell upon them. We've seen them. Okay, that 3.5 days from 1619 to roughly 1969. Okay, in 1969, that would have made it a 350-year period that these people went into slavery and stood upon their feet. And then what happened? Okay, the so-called white man started saying, "Hey, wait a minute." And now that the new covenant is being taught, what is happening? They're trying to shut this place down. They're going to do it by violence because they couldn't do it any other way. Okay? After slavery, they tried lynching, okay, redlining, all right, denying loans, giving land to so-called blacks, Latinos, and then selling them bullshit seeds, okay? Segregation in the 50s and the 60s, not allowing us to vote, okay? All right. Even unto this day, man, they have things set up that make it difficult for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians to live, man. All right. Giving our women food stamps, Section 8, and telling them to put the man out the house, creating jails. Okay. They've tried to destroy the children of Israel over and over and over again. But what happened? We kept on growing. And the same thing happened in ancient Egypt. Okay? And this being spiritual Sodom and Egypt, according to the scriptures, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? This being spiritual Sodom and Egypt, also Assyria and the daughter of Babylon. Okay? When they did this to us in Egypt, what did they do? They made a decree to kill the firstborn male. Okay, there goes the prison system. We got to kill the firstborn male because if all of these so-called black men, Latino men are out here on the streets, what are they going to do? They're going to overpopulate, man. All right, they're going to take over by numbers. So we got to put out a decree to destroy them, man. And that's what they're getting ready to do right now. Here in this the second leg of the Roman Empire, Nero, Trump, is going to try and have you so-called blacks, Latinos out on the streets because he's going to take away all these programs that benefit you. And what do you think he's going to do? He's going to burn Rome again and he's going to blame the Israelites. Okay, that's what's taking place right now. All right, so he's got to show you who he is. This is Esau Edom using his sword, okay, to get what he wants. And that's what they have to do. In order for them to get the blessing back, they got to kill all the Israelites. And who are they? The blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Okay? All right? So that this, let me read that again. All right? He said, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass that thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. And that's what took place in the 1400s. Okay? He took us down. He broke that yoke. All right? So what's going to happen when the yoke is broken from off of our necks? Okay? When this economy collapses. All right? That's when you're truly free from this man's system. Unless you take the RFID microchip, which a lot of you dumbass Negroes and Latinos are going to do. You're going to try to save your life, but you're going to lose it. Okay? All right? So seeing that a sword is an instrument of death, who shall frustrate or disappoint the intent and desire of the Heavenly Father? How are you going to, if the Most High is going to use the sword, okay, to separate the elect from those that are going to be sacrificed here, okay? Who's going to disappoint that? Who's going to fight against Esau? Okay? I don't give a damn how many guns you got in your basement. Okay? If you don't have the Tawah, when this shit goes down, if you ain't in the new covenant and you don't have the Tawah, which is the mark of exemption, your ass is dead. Okay? It's just simple as that. All right? So seeing that the sword is an instrument of death, who shall frustrate or disappoint the intent and desire of the Heavenly Father? Isaiah 55:11. Let me grab it. Let me get that. Okay? Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void. Okay? But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. Okay, so when you have the prophets out here on the highways and the hedges telling you that the so-called white man is the sword of the Most High, okay, it's the hammer of the whole earth, okay, but we know that the hammer of the whole earth is going to be broken. All right, it's broken now. All right, they just got some good ass duct tape wrapped around it. Okay. All right, but that duct tape is giving up. It's giving, man. It's getting ready to give out. All right, so we know that the hammer of the whole earth, okay, the so-called white man is the sword of the Most High. All right, that's his judgment. He's going to be judging the nations according, okay, to their doings, man, what they have done to the children of Israel. And only the elect are going to make it out of this. And only a remnant of all of these nations is going to survive. Okay, after all the starvation, after all the famines, okay, and war, only a remnant are going to survive, and that remnant is going to be taken into slavery. They're going to have children, and their children are going to grow up in slavery. 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, okay, for these nations that have done the elect. I'm going to say all of Israel, but the elect mainly that have cried out and asked for forgiveness and came into this covenant. Okay? The righteous blood. Not every fucking body else in Israel is righteous, man. That's why they have to die on this side, and the sword of the Most High is going to take their ass out. All right? Okay? Who has resisted his will? Okay? Who has resisted the will of the Most High? Who has resisted the will, okay, that this man is a whooping stick for the Most High? Okay? He was set up to punish the children of Israel. What's up, brother? Okay? So if he was set up to punish the children of Israel, and we resist it as well. Okay, let's go into some examples. Okay, what happened to when Nat Turner learned what the Bible was truly saying about who the so-called white man was? He started killing white people. Okay, and what did they do to him? They skinned him, burned him, skinned him. Okay, they ate him. You understand? All right, going to the Black Panthers. Okay, you go into all these other people that want to go and fight against the will of the Most High. Okay, you got NFC, you got the new Black Panther Party. Okay, they're gonna take up swords and try to fight Esau, whose blessing is the sword. You're gonna have to wait. That's why the scriptures say, "Wait upon me till I rise up to the prey." Okay, all right. Wait till I rise up to the prey. Don't try to go and fight against these people. That's the dumbest shit you could do. Okay, because when Yahweh Shai shows up, who we know was Solomon and Isaac and Adam. Okay, when Isaac, aka Yahweh Shai, shows up, he's going to take the sword. He's going to take that blessing away from Esau, man. He's going to take it away from you. He gave it to him. He's the only one that can take it. All right. So if you resist the will of the Most High to allow Isaac, the father, Yahweh Shai, to come back and take the blessing that he gave to the so-called white man, the sword, okay, then you're being rebellious. Okay. All right. Even though you're allowed to, I'm not going to tell you that you can't defend your home, your family. Okay. But to go out and try to fight against someone who was given a sword, an instrument of death, okay, as a blessing, okay, you're a damn fool, man. Okay, that's like Esau can't fight against this word, okay, because this was a part of the blessing that was given to the elect, man. The house of David was given this as a blessing. So Esau can't fight against this. That's why we can come out here and tell him to his face, the lion that's roaring at the eagle, okay, he can't do a fucking thing with it, man. Nothing. Okay? He doesn't have a televangelist out there that could come against this word, man. Okay? All they can deem us is as extremists. Okay? Oh, he's a religious extremist because he teaches the Bible on the street, but he teaches the truth of the Bible. Okay? That's all they can do is call us names. Okay? Put us in a category with terrorists. Okay? I haven't gotten one fight out here in years that I've been out here. Not one. Couple disagreements, arguments. Yeah, that's nothing. You know? You see? But they would still deem me one of the T words. I don't want to say that too many times. They like using that shit. All right? Fucking dumb. All right? So who has resisted his will? Romans 9 and 19. Let me grab that real quick. All right, y'all. Romans 9 and 19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Okay? Who has resisted the will of the Most High? Okay, like I said, you have all of these groups out here, okay? Started back during the time of Nat Turner killing white people because he found out what the Bible said. Okay. Then you had the Black Panther Party, okay, the Brown Panthers, taking up arms against somebody that was given a sword, okay, as a blessing. You see, you have all of these new groups, the NFC, all right, the new Black Panther Party. The Most High said, wait upon me till I rise up to the prey. You can't fight against somebody who was given the sword as a blessing. Okay? You have to use your blessing and be a part of the house of David and come into the new covenant. Okay? To destroy this man. That's the only way that you can do it is spiritual. Okay? You can't fight this man carnally. It's not going to work out too well for you. Okay? So the so-called white man was created to be the murderer and destroyer. Edom has, is, and will continue to fulfill his sole purpose of creation, which is to play the role of the wicked. Okay? That's what he was created for, man, to play the role of the wicked on the earth. Okay? What did the scripture say? The devil cometh to kill, steal, and destroy. What has Esau done during his time of rulership with his sword, man? He has used this sword to go all over the earth to steal the resources of all these other nations. Okay? They say they're going to go into a country, okay, because there's a dictator in that country, okay, and they go under there under the guise of peace, okay. But what do they do when they go under there and say peace, peace, okay? They go in there and they take down the president, put a puppet in, and they steal their fucking resources, man. That's all they do. All right. All right. So Edom has, is, and will continue to fulfill his sole purpose of creation. The vessel fitted for destruction, okay, the vessel of dishonor, all right, which is to play the role of the wicked, as Cain, okay, the progenitor of the Edomites, because you know that comes from a seed line. And just because the seed line of Cain was destroyed in the flood doesn't mean that he didn't come back in a regeneration. All right, it's a spirit attached to that seed line. Okay, all right. That's why we know. That's why we know that a lot of men that call themselves Jews or Israel or Israelites, okay, have been sown a wicked seed of deceit. Okay, all right. So the progenitor of the Edomites, okay, the nation of Edom, because you have Esau, and after he ate the raw pottage was called Edom or Adawam, which means red. Okay, Edom became the progenitor of the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. All right. So Cain, the progenitor of the Edomites in the reincarnation, he was the first murderer on earth. Okay, and he continues to fulfill his role as a murderer, a violent man. Okay, an untrustworthy person. Okay, because of the spirit that he carries. Genesis 4 and 8. Okay, let me grab that real quick. All right. Genesis 4 and 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. Okay? Cain became the first murderer. Oh, damn. You see? Slew his brother Abel. And I talked about this in my video the other day when you start talking about the laws, okay, being established before they were written, okay? The laws were established before they were written because if you go into Jeremiah 31 and 33, it talks about the law shall be in their inward parts, okay? We know that was taken away from us, all right, at some point. That falling away, all right, okay? There has to be a falling away first, okay? Because there were certain things that we did, okay, during the time of Genesis, okay, that showed you that there were laws established. There were laws in place, okay? So when it comes to Cain and Abel, Cain's sacrifice, when he started picking shit up off of the ground, when the law was written, we know that the law said that you're not supposed to pick anything, any fruit or vegetable that hits the ground, you're not supposed to pick it up and eat it, okay? All right, so we understand that. So we know that when Cain made his sacrifice, where did he make it from? He picked shit up off the ground. Okay, and that's not lawful. But there were no laws written at the time, so we know that Jeremiah 31 and 33 is significant in understanding when you come back into the covenant, that's what's going to take place. Okay, all right. So let me read that again. Genesis 4 and 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. Because Abel had a righteous sacrifice, man. He had an acceptable sacrifice. Okay? And this is why when you go to Genesis the third chapter, what is it, 3:14 and 15, when it talks about the serpent seed and the woman seed, okay, shall have enmity, okay, that hatred. All right, that seed line carries a spirit. So when the project when Cain came back in the regeneration, okay, and became Esau, the progenitor of the nation of Edom, okay, the Edomites, okay, what did Cain say? He had the hatred toward his brother because he did something wrong. Okay, Esau sold his birth. He sold his birthright, man, and then turned around and lied to his father. He lied to his father Isaac and said that he stole my birthright, which is a damn lie. Okay, so Esau, okay, when he cried to his father Isaac about the blessing, his father blessed him with what? The sword. Okay, so being as though that Esau, the nation of Edom, was blessed with the sword, what happened? Okay, when he took us back down after in the late 1300s, when they finally destroyed all the so-called blacks that were ruling in Europe and took down the monarchy. Okay, what happened? They started to use the sword to destroy or became the hammer of the whole earth, man. Okay, you see, and that's what he's getting ready to do. He's going to have to use a sword now, man. He's going to have to show everybody who he really is. Okay, that's why the title of this is going to be the Devil's Wrath, man. Okay, this is going to be the so-called white man showing you that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man, the wicked. All right, which is the sword of the Most High. Okay, so it was through violence and the sword that the so-called white man first came into power. What did I just say? They took us down in Europe. Okay, Spain. All right, you see, this is what they did with the sword, man. Okay, beginning with Alexander and continuing with the conquering sword of Columbus. Okay, so when you go into Alexander the Great, okay, you got to understand Alexander, he was an Amalek. He was Amalek. Okay, when you go into the book of Genesis, where it talks about the seed line, okay? When you go into the seed line of the nation of Edom, okay, from Esau up, or you can go backwards, however. But when you talk about Alexander the Great, Philip the Macedonian, those men go back to Agag, okay? And Agag was a great grandson of Amalek, and Amalek a great grandson of Edom, or Esau, okay? Gotta understand that. So all of these this seed line continued, okay, and they all are in somewhat of a rulership position on the earth to this day. That's why we understand that Trump probably he might be Nero in the reincarnation. That's why he's trying to burn Rome again. Okay, he's going to try to burn Rome again and blame the Israelites. Okay, which would be the blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. They did it. They did it. Look what they're doing. Okay, and why are they going to do these things? Because they're taking away Medicaid. Okay, they're taking away food stamps. What the fuck do you think is going to happen when you're taking away programs that benefit who? The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Even though they need to get their lazy asses up and go get a job instead of sitting around waiting for somebody to give them a handout. Okay, all right, but what happened? We went into slavery for 400 fucking years, and then when we got out, we weren't given an opportunity to do a goddamn thing but be hung, redlined, okay? You see? Put in fucking jail if we were homeless. They're starting that again. It's illegal to be homeless. If you're homeless, you're gonna go to jail, okay? So all of these things are set up to destroy who? The Israelites, man. Okay? To make it difficult for the children of Israel. You see?
I think they're making it difficult for people. Let's be honest.
What?
They're making
Oh, they're making it difficult for everybody.
Yeah, the Israelites,
Hey, the Israelites.
they live in Israel.
All right. Hey, you don't even know what I'm talking
That's
about.
right, right.
You don't even know what I'm talking about, man. You gonna start your shit again? Shit. Better get the fuck up the street. Fucking simple ass. Okay? See? That's that retarded motherfucker that comes by here talking shit all the time. I got something for his ass, though. All right? That's it. Let's hear it. Yeah, see? As his kingdom draws towards its end, the devil plans to fiercely storm upon the people of the Lord, having great wrath. Okay? All right? As his kingdom draws towards its end, the devil, okay? All right? The so-called white man, what is he going to do? He's going to go crazy. All right? He's going to burn Rome. All right? He's going to start a fire here, okay? By having all the children of Israel have their asses come out on the highways and the hedges out here on the streets, okay, protesting and busting windows and burning shit, and he's going to be justified in using the sword against their ass, okay. All right. So the devil plans to fiercely storm upon the people of the Lord, having great wrath, okay. All right, let me get this Exodus 1 and 17, and 1 and 7, Salak. All right, because this is the same thing that happened, okay? This is the same damn thing that happened in ancient Egypt, man. Okay? All right, yeah, Exodus 1, and I'm going to start at 7. I'll read down to 14. And the children of Israel were fruitful and exceeded abundantly. Let me read that again. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Okay? That's what's taking place. You can see the numbers. Their numbers are going down and ours are rising, man. And they understand that. Okay? That's why they do, what's that shit they do every year? Where they count every damn body. They want to go around and how many people live in your house. Okay? All right? Mainly black neighborhoods. They want to do a census. There you go. They want to do a census so that they can count. And that they keep an eye on the numbers of the births of so-called whites. They keep an eye on the births of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Okay? Because they know that they don't have the numbers anymore, man. All right? So they have to do what? They have to deal harshly with the children of Israel right now in order for them to stay in power. Okay? All right? Now there arose a new king over Egypt, Trump, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we are. Come on and let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. And so get them up out of the land, okay? Yo, we got to take the children of Israel. We got to get rid of the children of Israel somehow. We got to shut this thing down, okay? Make them get violent. Say we're gonna start martial law, okay? So we can arrest, detain, and do orderly disposal of the children of Israel. We have to kill a lot of their males, man. We got to put. Well, first off, they started by putting us in jails, okay? The prison system, okay? But now they see that that's not working. You got a lot of so-called black men that are making it that are making it by getting up and going to work every fucking day. They're trying to take care of their families. They're trying to take care of themselves. They're trying to educate themselves. Okay, they're trying to be as productive as they can in this fucked up ass system or place that they live in. All right, they're getting off drugs. That's why you see more white people out here with signs talking about anything helps. Okay, you know. Now we have our own that are doing it. But the opioid epidemic really put a stain on them, man. Okay, all right. All right, therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities. Okay, Pithom and Ramses. It's a lot here. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Okay, what did I just get done saying? All right, the more they tried to kill us. Okay, What is that saying? But what don't kill you will make you stronger. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So you made it extremely difficult for Jake, okay, or the children of Israel to exist in this place, man. Okay. But the more difficult that you made it, okay, the more that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians thrive, man. Okay. All right. Redlining, lynching, okay, up until modern day, the prison system, okay, not giving brothers jobs, you see, but they excelled in other areas, man. All right, and they still grew. They still were producing children. All right, regardless of how difficult it was. Okay, we're gonna tell you, women, we're gonna tell you women that we're gonna give you food stamps, but you got to kick the man out the house. We'll give you Section 8, you got to kick the man out the house. Well, them women were still having babies, man. Baby after baby after baby. All right. Then they had the child tax credit. You were given black and Latino families, even though that woman was on Section 8. You had 6 kids. The grandmom claimed 3. The daughter claimed 3. You were handing out $25,000 income tax every year. So these people were benefiting from you setting up something that was supposed to destroy them. You see? Esau. All right. Okay. All right. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. All right. They see the brothers out here teaching, telling them that they're the nation of Edom. Okay. All right. And that they're getting ready to go into slavery. Okay. And they are grieved. That's why I said earlier, all right, the book of Revelations tells you that after 3.5 days, they stood upon their feet and great fear fell upon these people, man. Okay? Because now Esau understands his end. Okay, and I read that a minute ago. Okay? All right? Here it goes. As his kingdom draws towards its end, the devil plans to fiercely storm upon the people of the Lord. Okay? So that's what's getting ready to take place, man. Because they know that the end of their kingdom is here. They know that the end of this place is there, man. Okay? And there's nothing, what did I read about resisting the will of the Most High? Okay? You can't resist the will of the Most High. You cannot change the mind of the Most High, man. He's the one that put this together. Okay? He's the one that set up the basis of men over the nations, man. Okay? He set up the basis of men to be the sword, the hammer of the whole fucking earth. But the hammer of the whole earth is being broken right now. And we can see it. Okay? We can see it. And they can feel it. They can feel what's getting ready to happen to them. Okay? But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with vigor. Okay? And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and brick, and in a manner of service in the field, all their service wherein they were made to serve was with vigor. And that's what the so-called white man has done to the children of Israel. Beat their asses down, man. And brothers are tired. Okay? Brothers are extremely tired, man. Okay? But we still get up and we still do this thing because that's the will of the Most High, man. That's the spirit that was put on us. Okay? through slavery, beat down, hung, whipped, raped, okay, buck broken, all right, deprived, okay, of any liberty whatsoever. Okay, and still, what did they do? They thrived, man. Okay, and that's why we stand here today and we tell our people first and foremost that they better come back to the Heavenly Father, man. Okay, they better come back to their book, which is the Bible. All right, they got to come out of Egypt, or they got to come out of this place, man. Okay, you see, that's what we have to do, man. Come out of this place. All right, let me continue reading. Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, all right. Okay. Let me go back and read. Let me go back and read that. Having great wrath, knowing that he has a short time. Revelations 12 and 12. Let me grab that. Okay. So I can get the whole thing. All right. All right. Revelations 12 and 12. All right. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Okay. And the heavens is talking about the elect of Israel. Okay. That's talking about those that are coming back into the covenant. All right, the new covenant, the elect or the remnant that is going to be saved out of the hell that's coming when that sword is lifted up. Okay? That's what we got. That's one thing that you have to understand, man. All right, so therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay? So Esau, Edom, or the so-called white man knows that that blessing that was given him, the sword